Ain't it good to be a Tiger? Man, I am just thrilled to be here. And humble. Really, to be honest with you, think about what I was going to say driving over here. That may shock some of you. But, I've just been full of emotion the whole year. It takes a lot of people. We've been on quite a journey. And first of all, y'all can all relax. We're going to win the game tomorrow. Charm is here. I got to rub on her a little bit. Let it go. Not that one. She knows what I'm talking about. But it's just a great time. It's a humbling thing to see something come together. I think that first of all, he's right. Dan's right. I don't think that, in this business, and I've been in college since 1988. Went to college, get an education. I'm still in college. But, it's rare in college that you have everything kind of working in the same direction. I've seen where the president doesn't like the AD and the AD don't like the president. The head coach thinks he calls all the shots and he doesn't understand the chain of command. The board of trustees, they don't like whatever, and I've seen that. That's an ugly thing. Everybody worries about who gets the credit. But I've never been a part of a better situation than what we have right now in Clemson. As far as the synergy, the unity of spirit. Clemson has a determined spirit. And that's why we're having success. Our AD deserves a lot of credit. It's funny when I look at all these pictures here, because I give him a lot of credit because Dan came in and he had, and maybe he didn't know me well enough yet, but right off the bat, he came in. I think he just kind of did a little tour of Clemson, and he's a proactive guy, an aggressive guy, and he realized, we're not where we need to be here, and he's just he's kind of a bull in a china shop. Rolling into Clemson, and we all know Clemson kind of has their way. And he comes and he sits down with me, and I give him credit because he started engaging me in the tell me what we got to do. Like, what's your biggest issues? And I would kind of a little bit at a time kind of educate him on my journey and getting things done and processes and things. And I would tell him and counsel him sometimes, like, you're going to learn. You're going to figure it out as you go through, some of these things. But he immediately kept engaging me. And so I finally, and he was relentless about it. Like, he kept bringing me all these things. I'm like, and I'm trying to build a relationship with my new boss. And so finally he comes and he's getting ready to go on a trip to Europe. going to come by the office before he heads out and get on that plane. And I'm not an architect by any stretch of the imagination, but I pulled out a piece of paper because I knew he was coming, and we weren't going to have very long to meet. And I said, and I wrote down on a piece of paper like 5 things. And I said, now just hear me on this. Just think about this. Just humor me. Take this with you on the plane. And I drew out what the vision was, and why. And I said, Dan, listen, I can sell this because it's what's best for our players. It's what's best for Clemson. And I said, and it's best for all of our athletic department. And I said, and then you know what? People will get behind basketball too, because everybody's going to get better from this. And I really thought he would take that piece of paper and throw just laugh, and come back and say no way, but he didn't. And he came back and he said, Mike, this sounds good. The more I've thought about it, I kind of like it. And so that's kind of how it started. And I think every dream starts with a dreamer. It's one of the things I tell our team. And so that's where it started. And so we sat down and kind of cultivated the talking points, the reasons, how we were going to go about this. And then he's like, well, listen, if this is going to happen, I'm going to need you to help me. And we're going to have to go, and we're going to have to do some things. And I got President Clements gets on board, and we talk, and so, just the synergy and the spirit, and then we present it to some of the board members, and they like buying into the vision. But somewhere along the way, you got to have a quarterback. You got to have a quarterback. When I went up to Virginia to recruit Taj Boyd, after being the head coach for about 3 weeks, and I go up there and I sit in his house and a little table in the kitchen, and I'm talking to his mom and his dad, and I always tell the joke that Tress was in the front in the driveway and Bellotti was on the back porch, and here's Dabo, in his den, and I'm telling Taj Boyd and his family the vision for Clemson and where we were, but don't look at where we are, and listen to where we're going, but I got to have a quarterback. I need somebody that can help me change it, and you got to have that, and he bought into that, and he left here as the winningest quarterback ever, and he helped us change Clemson. And I needed the same thing when it came to this facility. And next thing I know, I'm flying down to Charleston Airport, and I'm heading over to the Hendricks home. Bill, Pam, the whole family, they're all there. And I'll tell you, some of the best deals are still done on the back porch. They're just something like a back porch, looking out at the ocean. But I went down there and really not knowing what I was getting into. I mean, I've never asked anybody for $2.5 million before. But we go down there and the whole family's there, and we talk through the vision of what we're trying to do in Clemson. And I told Bill, I said, man, you're not getting any younger. And I said, I know you love Clemson, you're passionate about Clemson, and you want to see Clemson be the best again. And I told him, I said, I'm the best shot you got. And he kind of looked at me, and I said, and I'm here to tell you, you're the best shot I got. And I said, now listen, here's what I know, all right? You may not can give me $17 million. That's what I need. But if you'll step up for me right now, you're going to help me get it, because you're going to lead the way. And you're going to help me be the quarterback. And within about, I don't know, maybe 5 months, we exceeded that. Thanks to some unbelievable donors. Miss Bo stepping up. We've got other donors that are anonymous, but they're not anonymous to me. we've got an incredible development team. Ford, Aaron, Bobby Couch, all you guys, and they're incredible. They, Furby, all y'all, unbelievable job. And they're out, and everybody, I get it. I mean, hey, 50,000 to the football operations facility, 10,000 to the football operations facility, 20. Let me tell you, it all adds up, and it all matters to me. And I write them a note. And I think that's what makes Clemson special. Is just, there's an old saying, in this old world of give and take, not enough people willing to give what it takes. And Clemson has a bunch of people willing to give what it takes. And I think that is what makes this place unique, special. And so I'm grateful. But what I told the team the other day is, what it says in Ecclesiastes in the Bible, it says, one man can stand alone and be conquered. Two can stand back to back, and they can defend and conquer. But a triple braided cord is not easily broken. And then you add 4 and 5 to that cord, and man, it becomes very strong. And that's what we have in Clemson. I mean, with our president, our board of trustees, IPTE and the leadership we have there, our AD, our football staff. It's not just me. We got a great staff, and that's what we have in Clemson, and it's special, and it's unique. I'm just here to tell you that's not the way everywhere. It's not that way everywhere, and we can disagree. We can have. We're not immune to a mistake or a problem or whatever, but we got a bunch of good people who have respect and a trust for one another, and a common purpose. A common purpose to achieve that, to make Clemson the best it can be. And listen, I said this week, never, ever, ever have I ever had a goal of having Clemson ranked #1 at any time during the season. Never. That's never been a goal. My goal, and it's never been a goal of mine to have a great team. Okay, we just had this great team. I want to have a great program. All right? I want to have a great program. Hey, if the game doesn't go our way tomorrow for some reason, listen, that ain't going to change one thing about our program and who we are, and more importantly, where we're going. And one of the things that I've tried to sell our guys on all year long, and Don alluded to it earlier, is, listen, when I got this job, everybody talked about the good old days. I tell Jeff Davis, man, I'm sick of hearing about Jeff Davis making tackles in the good old days. Everybody walks around like the best is behind us. Let me tell you, the best is yet to come. Okay? This is the good old days. This is the best of times. And what this facility does, what this facility, to me, when we stick a shovel in the ground, what we're saying is the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come tomorrow. The best is yet to come this season, whatever happens the next few weeks. The best is yet to come, and that's just my philosophy. However much life we got, it's going to be the best of our life. Whatever we got, it needs to be the best. The best is not behind us, and we should embrace that. And that's what this facility says. This facility says the best is yet to come. This is going to be my purpose in this. When we built it, my whole thing, when I meet with all these architects and all these people, they're a lot smarter than me, is, man, this thing needs to be fun. It needs to be Clemson. It needs to be special, unique, different. We're proud of our colors at Clemson. Don't bring me some kind of stale, Oregon contemporary mess. That ain't Clemson. All right? This thing has to be Clemson. And it doesn't have to be the biggest, but it needs to be the best. And that's what we're going to build. And I've never been a part of a more thorough process than what I've been through with this facility. It's incredible. And thanks to Dan, President Clemens, and our board and everybody, I think we set a world record for state approval. That's another thing I didn't know anything about. Until I'm down, I'm having dinners with senators, and I wore a lot of hats in this deal, okay? I am fully invested. And I told him, I said, hey, whatever I need to do, because this is what's best for our players, and this is what's best for Clemson, all right? This is going to be the forever home of the Tigers. I know sometimes in fundraising, people can get a little frustrated because you give some money to something, and then 2 years later, you know, they tear it down, and wait a minute, I just gave money to that. Let me tell you, this will be the forever home of the Tigers. All right? And the money that was given to the West End Zone, it's gonna change Clemson athletics, big time. With the things that we're talking about, the uses for that, it's gonna be phenomenal for Clemson athletics. All right? But just like with whoever had the vision for Death Valley, whoever decided to do that, you know, even though it's changed through the years, we've added upper decks in the West Zone and South clubs, and we've made it better. Not to say that we won't ever tear a wall down or add another floor or add another wing, whatever. I have no idea. This will be where the Tigers will live and play right here and prepare. And then 7 days a year, when these boys go over into that stadium, into that locker room in the stadium, it's special. It's special. It's game day. It's not the same locker you were sweating in yesterday. It's special. And so, you know, that's what I'm so excited about. And we do talk about best as a standard all the time. You know, sometimes I'll get on our guys. We might not have quite the practice, or, you know, we not quite do what we need to do. And I'll say, okay, hey, good. You know, we'll just change that. We'll just make it good enough as the standard. Pretty good is the standard. If that's what we're going to be about. And I think somewhere along the line, I think that was a mentality that kind of creeped into Clemson. But man, not anymore. Everybody here is on board. So you want to know why we've got a program like we have in football? You want to know why we're having the success academically like we have in football and all of our sports? It's because best is the standard. And everybody is so committed to just doing the best you can do. And it's like, it's what I tell our players. It's not about being the best. It's about being your best. And we're not here to compare ourselves to other people. And the board, they all know this. With my very first board meeting, I didn't know anybody. I think I knew Bill Smith. I didn't know any of these. They were all in suits, and, you know, I walk into this stuffy board meeting room at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning, and they want me to meet the board, and we're going to talk, and the question was, or no, it wasn't a question, it was a statement of, Coach, we support you, and there's a perception that the board doesn't like athletics. But we do like athletics. We just want to be like Michigan, Georgia, Florida. We want to be good academically and athletically. And I'm sitting there, and I've told this story many times, and I'm in my mind, I'm going, well, this is going to be a short job interview right here. Because I said, that's not my vision for Clemson. My vision for Clemson is for Georgia, Florida, and Michigan to want to be like Clemson. You know, I'm not interested I've never been interested in trying to worry about somebody else. Let's be the best we can be. And that's a great lesson for each of our players. You know, if you're doing the best you can live with whatever results you get. And that's just, I've always felt that way. And I think that our players have bought into that, and all of Clemson has come together, so there's never been a better time. And I'm so thankful for all you people here. You know, the word best, the B is for believe. It takes a lot of belief, and I appreciate everybody who has believed in me and given me an opportunity to lead the program. I'm thankful for each one of these players who believe in what we're all about and how we do things. I'm thankful for our staff that believes in the philosophies that we have in place and carries that message into the meeting rooms and in every area. You know, I go to bed, I sleep well at night because I know the kind of people that I work with. And it's special. The E is for effort. There's a lot of people who put a lot of effort into making this a great program. A lot of people. Our fans, we sold out Wofford. We sold out App State. they show up. People drive for hours to see the Tigers play. They enormous amount of effort to give us the best game day environment in college football. I go and I speak to the Central Spirit group, all those students who blow up thousands of balloons, little things. People put tons of effort to help us have a great program. You know, the S is for sense of urgency. Sense of urgency. We just passed a $55 million project in the most record time probably in the history of this state, certainly in the history of Clemson. We talk about a sense of urgency to be great. And that happens when you have everybody on that same heartbeat. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. And I'm thankful for that. And the T is for toughness. It takes toughness to be the best. It takes toughness to continue to believe, sometimes when there's doubt. It takes toughness to stay the course. It takes toughness. You know, nowadays I look around college football, and it ain't how you finish anymore, it's how you start. If you don't start good, you're out of a job. What a terrible message we send to our young people. Terrible message. I remember I come out the gate and win the division in 09, my first year, and then in 10, man, we had a tough year. But I knew in 2010 that we were on the right track more than ever because of how our guys competed. Handled the adversity. I'll never forget after we lost to South Carolina. It was 6-6. Disappointing. I'll never forget it. I come up to my office, and Kath, I could tell something's wrong, and I'm walking I come up in the locker room, and I've got to go in, and she said, Terry Don's in your office. Terry Don Phillips. And in my mind, I just went, oh man, well, it's a fun 2 years. God never says oops. Guess he's got another plan for me. But I had a peace because I knew I was doing the best I could do. I had no regrets. And I come around to my office, and there's only one light on. It's kind of dark in there. And I walk in there, and Terry Don's sitting on the couch. And I open up the door, and he says, sit down. So I sit down, and in my mind, just like, to be honest with you, just like when I went to meet with him when he made me the interim head coach, what was in my mind was totally opposite of what I got. In my mind, I knew he had a lot of pressure on him too. And Terry Don, he looked at me and he said, Dabo, let me tell you something. I know you're disappointed. I know it's a tough time. And there's going to be some negativity. There's going to be some criticism. There's going to be this and that. He goes, but here's what I want you to know. He said, I'm more confident right now at this moment that you're the guy for this job and that you're going to be successful than I was before I hired you, than I've ever been. He said, so that's all I got to say. You need me, you call me. He said, but you just hang in there and you keep doing what you believe in. And he got up and he left. We talk about toughness. Toughness. That took some toughness. So to me, that's what that word represents. And it's what we talk about to our players each and every day. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be our best, allowing us to compete to be the best. And I'll tell you, our team, they're going to show up. They're going to play. All right? When you got a group of young men that are committed to being the best, man, you can live whatever results you get. We don't worry about results around here. We don't worry about outcomes. We worry about what we do and how we do it. So thank you for every one of you for being here. Like I said, I didn't even know what I was going to say till I got up here. But it's an emotional time because it's humbling when people buy into what you're trying to do. And it hasn't always been that way. So I'm just so thankful to everyone who's made this happen. And this is going to be a special facility. And I hope y'all enjoy the videos and the renderings and all that. And one thing I will say about the rendering, this is a great side story. when first kind of rendering, because I kind of knew what we needed inside and been working it. Thad Turnipseed, let me just say this about Thad Turnipseed. Thad Turnipseed has been relentless in helping to make this the best facility. There's nobody that knows more about this facility than Thad Turnipseed. And he has worked tirelessly to help this thing be the best. And making sure that I'm engaged in every area of it, in conference calls and so forth. But Thad and I, we had this particular conference call with the architects, and they may be here, I don't know. Are they here? All right. God bless them, that's all I can tell them. So I thank God I had a dentist appointment, okay? So I'm going in and we're on this conference call, and you know, I'm not an architect, but like I said, I knew what we need. And one of our particular donors, pretty passionate about the way this thing is supposed to look on the outside. And it wasn't the way they wanted it. And this person made it very clear on this conference call that this isn't acceptable. We're gonna change this up. So all of a sudden we went back to work, and I absolutely love where we've ended up. I mean, it is classy and timeless. It is timeless, it's traditional, it is Clemson, and it'll be the forever home of the Tigers, and it'll be the very, very best. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for allowing us to